particular part, that is a third exercise, that would be give reasons. So the first give reason out of the 4 that we have to solve now is that milch animals are fed on ampon. Now just try recollecting the points that I had been explaining to you over the whole lecture. So we crossed the section of food. Over there we learned that the supplements that are given to the milch animals, since they perform a heavy duty physical labor, and ampon over here is nothing but the fermented fodder that consists of the grain meal, the oil cake, and it consists of jaggery. Now this, when it is added to the main fodder, to the food that is given to the milch animals, it increases the supplement that is given to them, thus providing the bodies more energy to perform more physical labor. So of course you need the farmer that would be performing activities with these milch animals would be needing much amount of output to be performed in a regular basis of day. So that is why it becomes important to feed them with a healthy diet, and this healthy diet would be consisting of ampon, that is nothing but the fermented fodder. So we'll write the answers down for that. So the give reason is milch animals are fed on ampon because you always start your give reason with the format of the statement being there and then adding a because and giving your reasons to that. So what we learned was that the milch animals are fed on ampon because milch animals are responsible, are capable of performing physical labor so therefore to obtain more work performed they are fed with ampon. Also for the reason ampon being a fermented fodder and provides more nutrition. Consisting of oil cake, grain meal, and jaggery. So that was the composition of the ampon, that is a fermented fodder, and you also need to write that it provides more energy. So if more energy is provided to the milch animals, more work can be performed. Let's move our attention to the next give reason, that is horses are given horse gram as the supplementary food. So just like the milch animals, they had a supplementary food to be the ampon, that was a fermented fodder. But in the case of horses, of course, the kind of food that would be supplemented to them and given to them is not going to be the same as that is given to the milch animals or to any other animal as such. Obviously, for that matter, if we compare and we see, you wouldn't be eating grass meal, grain meal, eat the grasses, of course. So the kind of food that is given to every animal is different. So in the case of horse, we have the horse meal, the horse gram that is soaked in water as a supplementary meal, just for the reason to perform, give them more energy to perform more work. That's the same reason as such. So horses are given horse gram as supplementary food because more more energy to perform work, increased work. So we understand that how the horse gram and the unborn fodder is useful for providing more energy to these animals and thereby increasing the amount of work that is performed by them. The next one is pigs are fed rice husk and chaff and the bone meals. Now, why are pigs fed this? We know that there is the poultry farming that would be having not only for chickens, not only for birds, but also pigs are consumed for their meat. So if the pig wouldn't be fleshier enough or the flesh content would be less, the quality of the pigs is going to be a little bit deteriorated, not so preferable. So the pigs are fed with rice husk and chaff and bone meal to increase their fleshy content and make them more available at the commercial scale. Because we always start with the because, I told you why. Now the statement is going to be like, pigs are fed rice husk and chaff and bone meal because pigs are also utilized for the meat industry and it becomes important to have a healthy and a fleshy pig for the consumption of meat. And thus the pig is provided with the meal that is rich of bone meal, chaff and the rice husk. Now let's just go to the last reason, that is a cattle shed is kept clean. Why is a cattle shed kept clean? We learned this in the part of shelter and in the part of health. So we learned that why is it important to clean and to maintain the cattle shed? Well, that would be because, of course, we consume the milk from cows and buffaloes. So the milk that is consumed by them is it's important to be obtained from a healthy animal giving this source. So since the animal itself wouldn't be healthy, the milk also wouldn't be that great in its quality, and it would vice versa affect our health in return. So a cattle shed is kept clean to avoid the diseases that would be contracted by the cow, and also to avoid the number of flies and flea that would be present in the shed roaming on these animals, because flies and flea are responsible for carrying diseases. Also, the cattle shed needs to be kept clean in a way where the floor has a slope on it, so that the urine on the floor has an easy way to pass down and not contaminate the area that is present in the cattle shed. So these three are the main reasons actually why we need to keep the cattle shed clean. So the reasons would be, the cattle shed is kept clean because the cows or the animals needs to be protected against flies and fleas as they are the major source for causing diseases. Major source for causing disease. Also, the cattle shed needs to be kept clean for maintaining the health of the animals in it. The shed needs to be kept clean for maintaining the health of animals. And the additional point would be to let the passage of urine be possible through the slopes, so that again the cattle shed is maintained and kept clean. So the last point would be passage of urine through the floor, slopes to be precise actually. So these three are the only reasons that we need to have the cattle shed clean. And just let's have a quick brief about all the 4 give reasons that we had. So the first one we had was that milch animals are fed on ambon. Now why they were fed on ambon? Because the animals are capable of performing physical labor, and to perform more labor, more energy is required. And this energy is given to them by the ambon, that is the fermented fodder that consists of oil cakes, gram meals and jaggery. This was just a simple reasoning and simple answer that we had for this. Also for the second one, that is the horses are given horse gram as supplementary food, because the more the food intake would give more energy and would increase the work. Also, not only that, but a rich diet would also help in that. So the rich diet that is provided to the horse is by the horse gram over here, that is soaked in water, to be precise about the fact. Then we shifted our focus to the next give the reason, that is pigs are fed rice husk and chaff and the bone meal, because pigs are utilized for the meat industry, and it becomes important that the flesh content in these pigs is quite a bit more and rich for the consumption of meat, and that is why pigs are fed with the rice husk, the chaff and the bone meals. So I hope you all know what bone meal is. Actually, I explained to you what bone meal was. It was nothing but the bones that were left behind after the decomposition of the animal. So this bone was churned and made to be into a rich supplement, that was bone meal. Also it has slimy substance in that also increases the content of nutrition in the bone meal. That is why it's rich in nutrition. Let's just talk about the last give reason, that is a cattle shed is kept clean. Why is it necessary to keep a cattle shed clean? Of course, just imagine your house being dirty for a span of say 1 week or 2 weeks. Would you be able to survive in that? It would be so difficult and so not so rejuvenating, and it would be very passive to be in the house. So just in that way, to avoid the diseases, to avoid the contraction and susceptibility of diseases by these animals in the cattle shed, it becomes important to maintain them. Also, to prevent the amount of flies and flea present in the shed around the animals, and in the way that they don't infect the animals. That's also one reason that why is it important. The other part would be the construction of the cattle shed. So the construction of the cattle shed needs to be in a way that there's a slope to it, so the passage of urine that would be there on the floor would be possible in a very easy manner and not be locked in the shed and make it more unhygienic for the animals present inside the shed. So well, these were only the various 4 give reasons that we had from the whole chapter. Now let's just move on to the final and the last section, that is write a short note about what exactly is the other points that we need to cover to learn and understand. For the first note that we need to write upon is a very interesting topic actually, and the name is crossbred animals. So as the name suggests, crossbred, it is nothing but the crossbreeding of 2 strains of the same species of animal, resulting into a hybrid that would be yielding a much more yield than it normally did originally. So the answer in the format that you have to write is that the crossbred animals, in this, the technology has been devised. The technology has been developed for obtaining not only hybrids of plants but also of animals over the wild. So the yield from such type of animals, such type of hybrids of animals is going to be much more than the original ones. Also, the profits are going to be at a higher rate. So now what am I actually going to do is, I'm going to just underline whatever the main words are that you need to remember and sync with the whole answer. So over here in the first statement, it said that technology has been developed. So the key word that you have to remember from the first statement is technology. So let's just highlight that. Okay? And from the second statement, since there's a technology developed to obtain hybrids of not only plants but also animals, these hybrids are of course going to give you more yield, and the word on the second statement is yield that needs to be focused on. Also, the word yield, there is a possibility that it's going to be less or more, but in this case the yield is greater. So yield and greater are the 2 keywords. Also, it's profitable, so the profits are higher. These 2 are the important words that you have to remember from the second statement. Also, with an example we will understand about the crossbreeding. So an Indian cow yields around 5 to 6 liters. So the word over here is Indian cow that needs to be focused on, and the quantity of milk that it is yielding, that's 5 to 6 liters of milk every day. However, if it is crossbred with a foreign species like a foreign strain like Jersey, Holstein, or even the Red Dean bull, the yield would be around 10 to would increase. This is nothing but a sign of increase. Increase to around 10 to 12 liters. So that's the amount of milk you're getting from just one offspring after doing the hybridization. So that's like quite really much. Along with that, if not the Indian cow with the Jersey or the Holstein breed from outside, the cows like Kandhari, Devani, Khilari or Dangi are used by Maharashtra government at a national level for the hybridization to obtain more yield. So the names you have to remember are Kandhari, Devani, Khilari and Dangi. These 4 names you need to learn. So we again repeat the whole format and emphasizing the words we have highlighted. So the first one is that technology has been developed not only to make hybrids of plants but also to make the hybrids of animals. Along with that, since these hybrids are made, the yield from such animals is going to be greater. Along with that, not only if the yields are greater, also the profits are higher too. So with the help of an example, we will understand what is crossbreeding. So an Indian cow that yields around 5 to 6 liters every day, that is the milk amount that is yielded every day from this Indian cow, it was crossed with a breed of Jersey or Holstein or even the Red Dean bull, and the offspring yielded around the 10 to 12 liters. Who yielded this amount? That is a hybrid offspring. that yielded around 10 to 12 liters of milk every day, hereby increasing the profit margin. So, also at the national level, cows like Kandhari, Devani, Khilari or Dangi are utilized by the Maharashtra government. So this is it for the crossbred animals. Now let's just move on to the next part. That's the pearl culture.
Choose the right kindergarten, a right bag, and matching bottle to go with. The right school, the right friends. Choose the right subjects and score well. Be an expert in all. The right teacher, and make sure that they like you. Choose the right timing, the right bus, and take a cab if getting late. The right train, and don't stand near the gates. Mind the pockets. Better get into ladies' compartment, and make sure your mustache hasn't started coming. Choose the right study time and forget games. IPL, IHL, rock and metal, guitar, axe. The right group, and be a model to your brother. Seriously. Choose the right syllabus, the right test paper. Keep guessing questions for exams. Choose the right branch, the right college, the right stream. Choose the right career. Lucky to have a father's business to take care of and a father to allow that. The right counselor, the right form, and make sure the project is submitted on time. Choose the right website and rely on your friends for more information. Oblivious of the sites they have been to, there is no end to your woes. Getting better with every step you climb up the ladder. The summer vacation shorter, the bucket list bigger, the night darker, the books heavier. The only light you have is your friends ahead of you. Probably he is right. Ever thought how he got the direction? No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes. No more missing classes for rain, rally, and nonsense. Get your interest back in subjects through our creative ways of teaching. Doubts, concepts, applications, all explained through one vibrant animation. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Special programs only for basic foundation and paper analysis. Personality development, career counseling, admissions, hobbies, all covered. A new approach to study with long-term perspective. So sit back comfortably in your homes and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
In the next one section, we were about to learn about cultured pearls. So, for cultured pearls, this short note is going to be that since the ancient times, pearls have great importance and are used in ornaments and other decorative materials. So, they are usually in great demands, and therefore, pearls are in great demand. The amount that would be required, that on a annual base too, would be at a greater level. So the points that you need to remember from the cultured pearls are that they are important, they are in great demand. These two are the keywords you just need to remember from this. So pearls are obtained from the marine animals named oysters. So over here in this statement you have to remember the marine animals and the part of oysters. Then previously we were dependent upon the natural processes by which the pearls were formed. But ever since now, there are technologies that have been developed for inserting 1 grain of sand into the oyster's body over the right time, and that has been developed, that finally results in the large scale production of large scale production of the pearls at a very commercial level. Over here, commercial level, and therefore such pearls are known as cultured pearls, and they are not artificial pearls because they are not manufactured in the factories. They are organically manufactured by the techniques. So the keywords that you need to remember from the pearls are obtained from the marine animals are about the marine animal, that would be the oyster. In the next part, you have to remember that we were completely dependent upon the nature for the obtaining of pearls. So nature and pearls would be the keywords in this. So now technology of inserting a grain has been developed. So inserting of grain of sand in the oyster's body is important over here. At the right time is also important. Has been developed, and that results in large scale production of the pearls. Over here, commercial scale and pearls. So such pearls are known as the cultured pearls, and that is what is the answer is all about, the cultured pearls. Again, I'll repeat it for you. So the answer is going to be that cultured pearls, since the ancient times, pearls have their importance in various materials and various ornaments and decorative articles. Along with that, it has a great demand. So with the great demand comes the increased production of the pearls, but we know that pearls are produced organically and are therefore limited in nature, but we know that we have overcome this by the process of and the technology of inserting 1 grain of the sand into the oyster's body at the right time, and therefore obtaining a large scale production of the pearls at the commercial scale. Also, previously we were dependent upon the nature to make pearls for us. Over here, nature to make pearls for us, but we have overcome this, and we can actually a large number of pearls can be produced over the wild by organic processes. Now, since these pearls are cultured, they are known as cultured pearls, and the hitch to that is that this is not an artificial pearl. This is not artificial because of the reason it is not manufactured in a factory. So that is the answer for the cultured pearls. So moving on with sheep rearing, we understand that a farmer can actually breed and keep sheep easily. The farmer can rear these sheep easily because they do not incur much expenditure on food, and their maintenance is very less actually. So that's one reason why a farmer can easily rear sheep. Also, it is a very profitable occupation to perform. So sheep can actually live on the boar and the bahul trees, and also there's some thorny shrubs that grow on the mountainous regions or grow in the wild. And also, if not all this, and if a farmer is wanting to provide a little bit more nutritious food to them, so what can be they survived on is the stubble waste of jawar, the groundnuts, and horse gram. So these are certain nutritious food that can be provided to the sheep, and these are really not expensive. They are pretty cost reasonable. So that's the one reason why it is very easy to maintain sheep, since the expenditure is less on them and feeding them is not an issue at all. Also, to not only the sheep give wool, but they also give meat and skin, and also their droopings are known as good manure, since their droopings have high level of nitrogen, potash, and phosphorus and potassium in that makes the quality of the soil around it or on the fields really rich, improving the fertility of the soil. Then the other main selling point of sheep rearing would be that a normal sheep would provide around 10 to 12 grams of meat, and that's quite more actually compared to no expenditure being given onto the sheep. So we'll repeat this whole part again and note it down fast if you want to. So sheep rearing is a farmer can easily rear a sheep by because this does not incur much expenditure on feeding the sheep. So the sheep are the ones that can live on the bor and the bahul trees, and also on the shrubs in the wild. Over here, shrubs in the wild, and if not that, so a subtle meal of the waste of jowar or groundnuts or even horse gram. These are the three components that the sheep can probably survive on. So not only do the sheep, they provide us with wool, but they also provide us with meat and skin. So these three are the important components we get from the sheep. And their droopings are good manure. Over here. So around 10 to 12 kgs of meat is obtained from one average sheep. And their excreta, that's the droopings, have high level of nitrogen, potassium and also phosphorus. So that proves to be a good fertilizer and proves to be a good manure in the end. Compared to, and now if you compare the amount and the content of this nitrogen, potassium or the phosphorus in any other animal's droopings, it's going to be really less. And in the case of sheep, it's really more. Therefore, it's a very plus point to rear sheep on that basis also. Now, let's just move on to the next and the last note of the day. That would be the pisciculture. So, let's just understand a little bit more about it. So, let's move on with the next short note that's going to be about the pisciculture. So, pisciculture we understand by the word, and I explained it to you that it's the culture of fishes. So we know that man has been consuming fresh water as well as seawater fishes for a very long time, and also the earlier men would just consume the fishes that were caught in the nature, but over the while the demand for variety of fishes has been increased. So I'll just read out the next statement to you, that is, earlier man caught the fish that was available in nature, but now, ever since, the desired variety of fish has grown from their seeds in the sea or any other water body. So the government has taken up steps to make good quality fish seed, and if not the good quality fish seed, then the spawn is available for the purpose of serving for a variety of fishes. Also, with that, we get to know that the fish is also included in the category of seafood. Let it be freshwater fish or the seawater fish, they are included in the category of seafood. So, the freshwater fishes have the examples of rohu, katla, mrugal and the carp. So, these are the four examples that are rohu, katla, mrugal and carp. So if you don't remember the sequence, what you can do is just name their initials, that are rohu, that would stand for R, katla would stand for K, mrugal and carp. So RK, MC would be a short form to remember about it. And the examples for sea fish would be the boi, that is the mullet fish, then the mudushi, that would be the shellfish, renavi and khasi. I'll repeat the whole short note for you once again so that you have a better understanding and you jot it down for yourself. So pisciculture is nothing but the culture of fish. So man has been consuming and eating fresh water and the sea or the salt water fish. So the keywords here are fresh water and sea water fishes, because the man has been consuming this for a very long time. Also, Earlier, man caught the fishes that were found in nature, but ever since, the variety or the desired fishes to be consumed has been increased, and that has led to the formation of the increase in the growth of the seeds in the sea or in any other water body has been increased. So the government makes good quality fish seeds, and also not that, but the spawns for this purpose. So the keywords over here are going to be spawn and good quality fish seeds. So we learned that though fishes are obtained from freshwater sources and even the salty water sources, they are yet considered in the section of seafood. So the examples for freshwater were rohu, were katla, were mrugal over here, and carp. So just to make a brief note about it, we took the initials and we mentioned them over here. This increases your learning capacity in this way actually. So the sea fish is that would be there in the salty water or the sea water are going to be boi, that is the mullet fish. So take the initial, that is B. Then the other is the mudushi. So you could take M or MU, whatever you feel like, as long as you remember what the format is. And the Ranavi along with Khasi, so RK. Now you'd be confused with the Mrugal and Mudushi, so I'd suggest you to take MU, okay. So what would the order for this be? B, MU, RK. So that's going to be for sea fishes. So here we are done with the whole part of our exercises, and I hope it really was helpful for you to understand what I taught you and cleared your concepts basically about everything about animal husbandry and why is it utilized. So thank you for watching my lecture, and stay tuned to Study Spectrum TV channel because a lot more is going to be coming up for your knowledge. Thank you.